Hey and welcome. In this specific video, I want to show you how to install WordPress manually. Now, before we actually get started and begin the installation process, I want to talk about what you need to have in hand before you get started. So this way, you don't run into any roadblocks or any bumps along the road, and you'll be able to install WordPress, really fast. So before you get started, you're going to need your hosting username and password so that you can access FTP and hosting panel logins. Now, FTP is basically a way of accessing files on your website. And then cPanel, or your hosting panel, which is probably the most popular web hosting panel out there, will be using that. Now, if you're using Plesk or any type of other hosting panel, then you'll need to refer to your web host. But for the most part, most of you are using cPanel, and that's what we'll be using in this specific video. And then you will need to have FileZilla or some sort of FTP program. This will give you the ability to access your website files. Now, assuming that you have your hosting username and password, I'm going to go ahead and log into cPanel here. So you need to keep in mind, okay, where are you going to install this specific WordPress site? And normally cPanel is yourdomain.com/cPanel. So in this case, I'm going to be installing it on my site, cPanel, and then proceed. And then I'll enter my username and password. And as you can see here, I've opened up cPanel, which is exactly what I want to do. Open up all the windows and get everything ready. And then now we're going to need an FTP program. So remember, two different things: hosting username and password, and then second of all, FTP program. So I recommend that you use a program called FileZilla. And if you go to Google and type in FileZilla, click on Client Download. And the beauty of FileZilla is it is compatible with Windows, Linux, Macintosh, and more. I'm using a Windows computer, so if you want to pause this video, click on Download, install FileZilla on your computer before we actually get started. Then you can follow along and quickly and easily install WordPress on your site. So I already have FileZilla, so I don't need to download that. So now that you have these two items, you can begin to, do the installation process, which is really easy. I'm going to show you what it looks like so you know what to expect. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go to WordPress and we're going to download the file. We're going to extract that on the computer. We're going to create a folder via FTP. We're going to upload the files. We're going to go into cPanel and create a MySQL database. We're going to update the configuration files, and we're going to complete the installation. Now, if none of that made any sense, don't worry. Just watch me step by step. I'm going to cover every single thing that you need to do to complete this installation. So the easiest thing, first step, is to go and download WordPress. I like to go to Google and just type in download WordPress. And then you'll get this link at the top, and I can download WordPress. So just click on, to the right, this blue button, download WordPress. And of course, you're going to need to remember where you save the file. So I'm using Google Chrome, and if I just click on this and show in folder, I can actually easily find the file. So I'm going to go ahead and extract this folder onto my computer. Then the next step, of course, is to create a folder via FTP and begin the installation process. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the WordPress software application or files into a specific folder on my website. So once you have extracted it, you'll need to log in to your FileZilla FTP program. So I'm going to do that right now. So what we're looking at right now is FileZilla, and the easiest way to log in with FileZilla is to enter your host, which is normally ftp.yourdomain.com, whatever that is, and then your username and password, whatever your web hosting company gave to you. And then click on Quick Connect. And then you'll need to go to your public_HTML, or some of you might have something like HTTP docs, basically your main folder. So click on your main folder. Now, many of you, when you log into your public_HTML folder, you're going to see an empty area. However, I have a bunch of stuff in here. Now, if you want to install it, let's say on yourdomain.com, then you will basically just install or upload the files right into the main folder. However, if you, let's say for example that you want to install the WordPress site into a subdirectory, then you will basically need to create a subdirectory within public_HTML. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to call this manual WordPress install. Click on OK. And then I'm going to find that folder and double click on it. And then what I need to do is simply upload the files into this empty location. So there are two ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you the easiest way. If you, okay, so this is the file here, WordPress here, and this is the file, these are the files. So what you can do is just, if you have File Manager open, you can simply select all. So if you just click with your mouse and select all the files here, or if you want a simpler route, you can press Control A if you're on Windows. So basically all you need to do is drag and drop that over here. So simply drag it with your mouse and drop it over. And what it's doing now is basically just transferring the files from my computer to my website. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. So you're almost done with the installation. All you have to do now is create a MySQL database and update the configuration files. Now, while the files are being uploaded to FileZilla, I'm going to close this, or minimize this, don't close it, and I'm going to create a MySQL database. So if I go to cPanel, which is why I needed cPanel opened, I'm going to go down here and create a MySQL database. So if you click on the wizard here and create a database, you can name it anything you want. So I'm just going to call it manual install and click on next. And then at this point, you're going to want to create a user. So you're going to have to enter the username and password. So I'm just going to call it, let's see, manual, and enter your password. You can use the password generator if you want to, which is a lot more secure. So if I click that and that, make sure that you save this, at a safe location. So I'm going to write this down. And click on Create User. And then click on All Privileges, and then click on Next Step. And that's it. So you've created your MySQL database, which as you can see is very, very easy to do. Now, before you close this out, you need to make sure that you have this in hand, because you're going to need to enter this later. So the database is called this, and you'll need to copy everything from here all the way to here, because you're going to need that later. So I'm going to put DB as database, and then database user. I'm going to put this information down here and simply copy everything within those quotations, and then the password, because I'm going to need this information later on. Once that's done, I'm going to check on FileZilla, and I can see that it has uploaded everything. So good. We're on our way to completion. The last thing you'll need to do is simply update your configuration files and then complete the installation. Now, while you can install it through the browser by going to the location where you installed or uploaded the files, I have found that by doing this can cause some problems. So we're not going to do this because some of you will run into problems, and I just want to make it as easy as possible. The easiest way to go about the configuration process is just go back to your computer where your files are, saved, and locate the file that says wp-config-sample.php and simply rename that. So if you see this, rename the file and just delete the word -sample and enter. Now what we're going to be doing right now is simply editing this wp-config file. So what I'll do is right click on it, open with, and it doesn't matter what you open it with. I'm going to use WordPad. And the thing that you need to change is at the top. It's not at the very top, but if you scroll down, you're going to see MySQL settings right here. Simply change this part here. So we're going to change this. We're going to change this, we're going to change this, and that's it. So going back to the database information that we saved earlier, and this is why we're going to need this information, is simply highlight that, copy that, and we're going to delete this and copy it in here between these two areas. And then we're going to do the same for the username, the database username, and the database password. And once you're done with that, simply click Save and Exit and upload this specific file to your web host using FileZilla. It's going to drag it, drop it, and that's it. After you have done that, simply go to the location where you installed the files and then put a dash, put wp-admin/install.php. Now you're getting it at all the way to the end now, so you're good, and you're almost there. All you have to do is simply enter your site title, which we can just enter that here. Niche site title. Put your username, put your password, put your email, and click on Install WordPress. And that's it. We've installed WordPress. And click on Login, and it'll automatically log you into WordPress. And that's it.